Hello, hello, good morning, my beautiful people. Welcome again to another Free Talk Friday.
Yes.
Miss you all, we miss you all, we miss you all. So, I am Dawn Saunders, and I'm here with my co host, Kamiko Durgans.
Hello.
And I'm going to let Kamiko say hello.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kamiko Duggins, co-host here at Free Talk Friday, and I just want to welcome everybody here. So thank you for coming today. We got a good topic and one that can resonate with most everybody. So we want to get right in it.
Awesome, awesome. And our topic today is mental health challenges, coping with mental health, dealing with mental health, and how are we overcoming these challenges that our mental health individuals are dealing with, and what are some of the things that you think that it's driving our mental health into the situations that they're in. So, we just want to just free talk about it, and we want to, at the end, of course, offer some information, regards to mental health individuals. And I just want to first say that, just being in the health field, I see so many things, but you don't even have to be in the health field to visualize the epidemic of what the mental health community is dealing with. Sometimes they just don't have anywhere to go, someplace to deal with or cope with what they're dealing with, and to find the proper treatment. So, it's a little frustrating sometimes. And, I just want to say real quick, and you can find definitions, you can Google it. There's so many resources out there, but again, it's just being aware of the situation that helps you to drive your community to be better and
Yeah.
to grow in productivity, to grow in enhancing them to be successful. And you can be successful dealing with, or having some of the challenges, but having it under control. So, what is mental health, first of all? So I'm going to give two definitions. A person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being. And I mean, I can have my own definition, but I wanted to give something that was factual. Mental health is defined by the World Health Organization is a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community.
Mhm.
So that's what is defined as. So the same way you have physical health, you have spiritual health, you want to have mental health.
Right.
So we have what we're talking about today is the mental health challenges that we're dealing with, the type of mental health issues, disorders, the type of things that are driving or uh, pushing a nail in the ground with our individuals who are dealing with so many different challenges that it really, some of them, it just capped them out. They're not even part of the community. And I was telling one of my friends long time ago, I said, do you know most of the individuals who are suffering from one disorder or the other, who are not actively functioning in the community? They are not even counted in the census.
Yeah,
Did you
absolutely.
know that?
Absolutely.
Because what we find that our mental health individuals who are dealing with the challenges, not able to cope with the stresses of life and the everyday issues that a normal person is supposed to be able to cope with, you know, that sometimes brought them to a place of homelessness. It brought them to a place of death. It brought them to a place of not being able to function. So when you tap out, there's no way for us to tap in and figure out who do we need to, get um, the help for, because some of them gone into the cave and you don't see them again. Some of them they're off the grid because we don't. Become like animals. They begin to live with the animals and act like the animals, and not just only that. There's so many different things that is driving them. These are the challenges that they're facing, and because of untreated mental health disorders, they have become violent. Crime have increased. Just so many things that we find that has gone on. And before we go into describing some of them, I'm gonna let Kamiko give her spiel.
Yeah, I think you've pretty much made a really good synopsis of it, and I agree that mental health is very very serious, and I want to just add that especially in the African American Black communities, a lot of times it's not identified there because we don't seek that. And to know that we don't receive it as being a mental health issue that is really a problem. And for the most part, a lot of us are just, pretty much raised to be strong and raised to be proud and all of that. But mental health can happen to anyone, any race, any age. It doesn't matter, whether you're married, single, black, white, young, old, any other race as well. Mental health can hit your home and it can lead to a lot of different things. And so we just want to just touch on it today a little bit because there are so many different areas and levels of mental health and mental illnesses and all of that, that we just want to hit the topic and just kind of give you an idea of some things that you can look for to identify it in your own life or in the lives of others, your family members or friends, or just people you see on the street. Because, a lot of times you mentioned homelessness and all of that, that a lot of times those people out there, it's not that they're just homeless or just don't want to work. A lot of them have undiagnosed mental illnesses
Mm-hmm.
and undiagnosed and some untreated as well. So, and some both. So we just want to hit on that today.
So, and if you don't mind, share for us, just because I think everybody needs to be, partaking in this. So I'm just trying to share, this site, what happening, because I think it's so important for us to, bring this awareness to our community, to your community, because everybody's dealing with it one way or the other, believe it or not. You have some family that is coping or trying to cope with this situation, and sometimes it's hard, and trying to have support is even can even be harder. So we really want to share. I'm trying to share right now to some of our groups, and so people can join in the discussion. um just give me a second
Yeah.
here.
So while Don is doing that, yeah, so there's just so many different things. And so when it comes to mental illness can happen a lot of different ways. Some people go through traumatic things that
Mhm.
cause them to go into a panic. Mental illness is not just somebody, just when we think of mental illness, a lot of times some people just think about straight jackets and, you know, somebody that the word that we use crazy, being crazy,
Right.
when that's it's not so much that. Depression is a mental illness. Schizophrenia is a mental illness. A whole bunch of different things. So if you've ever dealt with depression, if you've ever dealt with anxiety, all of these different things, then there's some type of mental illness there. So when it is there, it's not to, you know, not to belittle anyone or anything like that, but it's really to identify where you are so that you can receive help for that. And so And there's nothing wrong with admitting that there's some things that's going on. If you're feeling depressed sometimes, if you're feeling this, because sometimes what happens is a lot of people don't, some people don't admit or don't talk about it or don't have anyone to talk to about it, or they don't think anyone would understand. And then it could lead to the terrible thing of suicide. You know, it could lead to that, or some homicide, or something like that. You know, it could lead to those things. So we want to be able to put some ideas, some ways, and some things in your mind to think about when it comes to mental illness, so we can kind of change the way that we think, or the way that we have thought about it in the past.
And just let's just talk about firstly some of the things that are, listed under the mental illness. And you're not, excuse me, you don't necessarily have to be mentally insane to even experience some of this, but these are the overindulgent, the excessive behaviors that exemplify. For instance, people who are suffering with anxiety and panic disorders. That's a popular one. We have, you know, I literally know one person that I mean, she almost cannot cope with you giving her any kind of bad news or something, whether it's something that's good for herself or not, because she goes into these panic attacks to the point where she can't breathe, or she always have to be removing herself from the workplace, or she calls in, or because she's having a moment, or even driving, if you cut her off, she goes into these panic attacks. She drives all the time anxious, and so this is like a really popular condition that is just really untreated. So a lot of times, you find people don't want to be around you because you're always anxious, or you're always concerned about something's going to happen, or you're always going into that panic mode.
Yeah.
And it's very frustrating sometimes to the person who don't understand it. So I think, with some of these conditions, we have to really, again, become aware of what people are dealing with and learn. Knowledge is power. The Bible says, my people suffer or die because of lack of knowledge. You understand what was the Bible said, perish. But basically, you not necessarily that you have to die physically, but you die in lack, in not understanding how to help somebody. And I was talking to one lady last night. We was just ministering to each other, and I was telling her, I say, God didn't create you for you. He didn't create me for me. He created he created me to be able to do the work on the earth that he he called us to do. And it is imperative that we understand who we're dealing with and what we need to do to help people. We can't just continuously make a list of um, issues and don't try to find some divine intervention or even natural intervention that some of us are gifted with and know what to do. Some of us are therapists, some of us are counselors, some of us. God has filled the earth with the resources, all the resources that we need to help intervene, that we need to help others, that we need to help make people's life a better place, help deliver people from, the stronghold of what mental illnesses, or and just helping people to cope and being able to manage something. It's not that, okay, so you might be diagnosed with diabetes, but the diabetes is uncontrolled, which is what causes you to go into exacerbation of severe conditions that can cause you to die. But if you have the condition diabetes and you know how to control it, then you can live longer. So it's not that the people with mental illnesses are not able to function, not able to cope, not able to be fruitful in the earth. We just have to become aware of those issues and find or help them to come to a solution in how to cope, how to manage, and how to treat that issue. So you
Mm-hmm.
know, this anxiety, bipolar is a big one. Oh my God, I am a nurse case manager and I see this on almost every patient's chart. Bipolar disorder, the label of your mood. We have mood disorder. You're up you one day, you're down the next, or even in a flight of a second. We have those eating disorder. We don't recognize that is a big problem that's gone unnoticed, and depression. And I'm just using common ones that really lead people into falling off the grid. People lead people depression chronically. 2 weeks is acute depression. If you're in depression in 2 weeks, that's considered acute. 6 months is chronically depressed. That is a mental illness that can keep you from being fruitful and productive. Because if you're chronically depressed, it leads you to drinking, it leads you to smoking, it leads you to wasting your life away, spending up all your money, and on things that you feel like is going to bring you a relief or bring you some help. And you're guiding yourself into the wrong area of health. And that's what, I just want to throw those out there. We have schizophrenia. A big one is substance abuse and alcoholism. Those area affect not just only the middle class or the first class or the low class. It affects all classes of life, and all gender. It affects all age group. But what has been increasing in the substance abuse is our young people. I'm finding more and more 18, 20, 21-year olds are entering into the hospital, either OD, either intoxicated, and from what? So many traumatic issues, molestation, things that have, drive them into this area. People who are schizophrenic don't know how to deal with that. They think they're going crazy. And, it's just so many things that is affecting our young children and our young adults and the elderly. And we just think, oh, a person is just senile or crazy. Elderlies get depressed. They get anxious because they're aging and they don't know how to deal with. Some of them are losing, their memory. So that on top of that, they become depressed and anxious because they can't remember things. So not because a person is, suffering with a neurological disorder. On top of that, can yield a mental disorder because they're at an age where they've lived a long time, and here they don't know how to manage themselves. That can yield into depression, yield into anxiety, and before you know it, they're locked away and just withered off. So we have to be aware of these symptoms, these changes that is occurring in your family, in your friends, in the people you care for, whether it's in a committee or whether it's even in the grocery store when you see someone. And it's not all the time that we as individuals who supposed to be more knowledgeable, not necessarily more knowledgeable, but to stand out as a leader, we have to like, okay, something is wrong, instead of us just lashing back, because there's so many disorders that's out there that people are dealing with. The associative disorder, dissociative disorder. I mean, there's so many things. People don't know how to cope with people in public, and they just lash out, and they don't know how to converse or communicate. And these things are really, I can go on and on and on, but yes, those are some of the things. Just jump in, Kamiko.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So I'll list a few. One very one that is looked over a lot is postpartum depression. So
Yes,
postpartum depression is when a woman is has had a baby, and so she goes into this can go into this depressive state after that, and sometimes she can feel overwhelmed, like really truly just overwhelmed and tired, and cries all the time, and become very emotional and can sometimes become physically abusive to herself or to even her kids. And this is not just immediately after birth. This could go on, this can go on down the line as the kid get older. And so that's one that's looked over a lot. Then there's, of course, PTSD, post-traumatic stress syndrome, that a lot of people think that it's just military people that can get that, but anybody can get PTSD.
Mhm.
If you've seen something traumatic, it can affect you. If you can be driving down the road and see a very bad accident, it can affect you.
Mhm.
Have someone break into your home, it can
Yes.
affect you. It can cause PTSD. A number of different things can cause PTSD in a person, and we can't discount it because they haven't been in the military. And even those that are in the military and have not gone overseas and been shot at and all of that, they still can have PTSD. So
Right.
it's not something that needed to be discounted at all, because a lot of people, a great number of people are affected by it. Then there's the panic attack. So you got the panic attack that's a lot like anxiety, but they react to physical things that will cause them to go into a panic.
Mhm.
Then there's also the, what is it, obsessive compulsive disorder. These are people, and then we look at now where we are with COVID and having to wash your hands, and just thinking about those people who have the that are germaphobes, those things,
Yes.
that was
Yes.
the balance and stuff that's going on. Those that are obsessive compulsive, they may get up and lock their doors 5 times a night. They may get
Yes.
up and check their windows 10 times. They may go, they may have to do that. They may have to do these things, and you wonder, okay, why does she keep going to the bathroom? Why does she keep running to this door? Or why does he keep doing that? But these are real disorders that people suffer with. Then there are the phobias, like the germaphobes, and people that have a phobia, arachnophobia, scared of spiders. And there are different types of phobias that is a type of mental illness that people have some people are paralyzed when they see
Yes.
them. Some people, it sends them into a rage. Some people, it sends them into anxiety or panic. There are the effects of that. So there are just so many, as Don was saying, there are just so many, you
Yes.
know, mental illnesses and disorders that people suffer with today. And we're not to really look at them and look differently, but this happens to us.
Mhm.
It happens to us, you
Yes.
know. And
Yes.
when some people are afraid now, especially, they have kept their kids in the house this whole time because they have a phobia
Yes.
of going
Yes.
out.
Yes.
So
That's
they're
a big
stuck
one.
in the house. I remember I had a family that I work with, and one of the parents has such a great phobia. Like, he would become very, very nervous about change and about different things, that happen that he can't control, So it really does happen. These things happen to people. And so now that we've listed a number of different things that a lot of people can suffer with. One huge one, Don said schizophrenia, but there's one that's called where they have multiple personalities. It's like schizophrenia, but it's something else.
It's multiple personality
That's
disorder.
what it's called. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah. So I did a little study a little while back that talked about people that tried to just understand how that is. But these are people that have multiple personalities, where that when one is present and hosting, the other ones may not know what's going on. There was a lady that had like over 90 different personalities. So if we think about that, like how bothering that is, to think that you have, if there were 90 different people living in your house speaking what you speak, are speaking different languages and speaking different. Some are men and some are women. You're a woman, but then
Some
there's
are
a man.
children.
Then
Some are
there's children.
animals.
Right. You know, so it's really, these are real things that affect people. Now we can go on another side of that and talk about some spiritual things, but we're gonna stay over here and talk about how these are real things that happen to people. So when you see this, you know, there are ways to help people. And that's what we really want to talk about. As we've identified and named out the different types, we would now want to go into just what we can do to help, some things that are available and some things that we can do in our household and in our lives that can help people that we know and love to deal with this, and even help ourselves if we're dealing with it.
Because
Mhm.
some of you or some of us, I'm including myself because
Uh-huh.
I'm not exempt, and this is not our portion in Jesus' name. But
Yeah.
uh, some of us you've been working, functioning, trying to do the best, and you're battling inside with what you're feeling. You know, you don't even realize that you're dealing with some illness that you don't know how to cope with. Some people
Absolutely.
truly don't realize they have some anger outbursts because they're dealing with some illness that is affecting them, and they just don't know how to control it. So why I say that is that the first step is to identifying symptoms, becoming aware of those who you are surrounded by, those who you work with, those who you deal with on a day-to-day basis, and begin to just identify things. I'm not saying going around everybody that just get upset, oh, you got anger issue and anger illness, or someone decide not to answer their phone for 3 days, oh, she's in depression. Or I'm not saying that. You have to be discerning and be watchful and understand the repetition, because most of these behaviors are repeated.
Mhm.
Most of these disorders are, you'll see it frequently, and
Mhm.
it becomes abnormal. There's one that it's a tick. It's called TIC, and that's the outburst of
Yeah.
they don't. It doesn't matter where they are. They can't help it. They just have these outbursts that is inappropriate. Some of them curse. Some of them. I mean, it's just you sometimes you just hear a loud noise, and this is consistent, so that's not appropriate. Just walking, there was one lady I worked with, and that happened, and instantly we knew she was not taking her medicine, because they function fine after they're treated and they're on medication, or whatever necessary that is used. Some of them, you could tell they probably had some recent events that throw them into that flare up. Some things are agitated by external factors, or what's going on in a person's life. This pandemic, like Kamiko says, has really been a flare up, because one of my members, she was dealing with that because of the pandemic. She was going to AAA, and then she couldn't go anymore. And before the virtual, she just started, but by then she had fall right back into alcoholism again,
Mhm.
broke her soberism from so long. And so a lot of these things are triggered with the exacerbation of the illness.
Mhm.
There's something that's triggering it for it to be consistent. Usually, stress is a big one.
Oh yeah.
Medical illness triggers. Sometimes your electrolytes are off. Like you mentioned about the post-traumatic,
Mhm.
postpartum. Sometimes parents or new moms or older moms, whoever, they're dealing with a chemical imbalance that has thrown them into this serious postpartum depression, or so postpartum anxiety, so it could be internally something medically also that's going on. So the first thing is to identify and become aware of these symptoms that you are recognizing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're able to, you can help from afar or you can help from near, then it's even better if you can identify with the person and ask them questions and, make recommendations and kind of just, assess the situation. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the first thing. And I'm going to let Kamiko maybe go into like what's the second thing
Yeah,
that,
to add to the what you were saying, some things do trigger, and once you identify with those symptoms, some things are fixable, when it comes to that, easily fixable. And you mentioned stress. So not sleeping properly, getting the proper amount of sleep, and also your diet can throw things off where your chemical imbalance, your hormonal imbalance, your
Mhm.
hormones will become imbalanced, which would cause stress on your body, and then not sleeping would cause stress also on your body and your mind. And your body's not giving time to regenerate, restore itself, and all of that because you're not getting the proper daily nourishment that you need. It can also cause you to go into panic and depression and all of these different things.
Right.
So when it comes to that, and also alcohol can also cause that, because
Yes.
of it can cause more depression if
Mhm.
because some people drink alcohol to escape from
Yes.
what they're going through, the stresses and the depression that they're feeling. But what needs to be known is that alcohol aids in depression.
Oh, yes.
It aids in it, and it doesn't help. It aids in it. And so just sometimes changing the diet. Once you recognize the symptoms, then you can see where, you can better monitor how and what it would take to kind of help fix it. You can be able to check for yourself. Okay, am I getting the proper amount of sleep? Am I eating properly? What's the triggers? What's triggering this? Because I know, even for myself, I've dealt with depression myself years past, where there were triggers, there were things that would trigger um, these feelings that I would have, this, wanting to pull away, this wanting to withdraw. So one thing that recognizing the symptoms is really looking at those things. When you see a person that is one way and then you see them changing and pulling away and withdrawing and becoming more and more to themselves. When you look at different things, like different things that's happened over the years, and not that all people that have mental illnesses do these things, but for some of those, when we've seen the shootings over time, when we've seen people that have done and built bombs in the garages and things like this, one of the common things that's said on the news by their neighbors and or by their coworkers is, um, well, he was fine, and then he was just to himself, or he was quiet and pulled away.
Mhm.
So those different types of changes are things that we can be aware of and we can take notice of. And sometimes just going up and, if it's a coworker, if it's a family member, just making yourself available to them to go and say, hey, look, how you doing today? Instigating a conversation, initiating a conversation, initiating lunch date, go out to get coffee and talk to them. These kinds of things is what I wanted to add, Don.
Awesome. Awesome. So the other form of solution that I think is mostly important is those first two is very minor and can be treated quickly, but some are in a deeper stage of mental illness to the point they may need some, whether it's therapy, medication, some have to just literally be put into a care that will help revamp them. So you wanna deal with. There's the veterans. I know Kamika can expound more on that. The VA offers outreach for the mental health, the mental ill veterans, and help treat them. I think I'm echoing. Is that me?
I don't hear an echo.
Yeah. So having to, yeah, I'm still hearing an echo. I don't know, maybe my phone. Yeah, so the VA, so that's one, especially with a lot of veterans, and I know they don't often go because they don't want to deal with the long drive, they don't want to deal with the long wait, but those are areas that's a big health um, system that wants to help. So rather than just be stuck out on the street and don't have nowhere to, because you lost your job, you got kicked out from whoever you're staying with because they don't understand what you're dealing with. So if you're able to get to the VA in your community, in your state, wherever you are, the VA is good in helping to treat. And it's nothing wrong with you saying, I really need help in this area. Sometimes you may have to just be sent away for a few weeks to get yourself together, you know. So I'm gonna let Kamiko expand a little bit on the VA, and there's other free clinics. But go ahead, Kamiko.
Right. So the VA does offer counseling for veterans um, to come there, and you can go and get signed up. You can actually call, and they have this thing, or go online. They have My Healthy Vet now, which is a website. My Healthy Vet, you can go on there. You can set appointments from there. You sign up there, you put in your information, and from there you can keep up with, for veterans, you can keep up with your medication. You can keep up with your appointments. You can refill your medication there, because now they will send them out to you. If you don't want to go to the VA hospital, if it's far from where you are, the VA have now made a lot of different, they've made some attempts to accommodate those that don't live close to a VA hospital. So you could go on My Healthy Vet and you can order your medication, you can refill your medication, you can set appointments with mental health or any of your other physicians that are there as well. You could do that. There's also a VA crisis hotline that's 24/7. And I'm going to post this number here that I found, and it is this number right here. If you're having any kind of crisis, if you're feeling, if you want to talk to somebody, you can call this crisis line. They have them for people that are dealing with drugs and wanting to quit, people that are thinking about suicide, people that are depressed, and so utilize these things because they are there to help. And if you know of a vet that's going through this, and they may not know that they can do this. They may not know that they can call, that there is a crisis line. So, jot this number down, give it to them, tell them to call this number, and they will direct them where he needs to go or she needs to go. So there are ways to get help. Now, there are counselors now that COVID has hit. They do a lot of virtual counseling, so they will call you, they will do a video call with you, and they will talk to you about whatever you need to talk about. They have the counselors, the therapists. They also have psychiatrists and psychologists that are also available as well to veterans to talk to. And I just want to say that even outside of being veteran, I just want everyone to know that there is nothing wrong with seeking professional counseling for whatever reason, for whatever thing that you're going through. One thing the scriptures say, that there's safety in a multitude of counsel. It's important that if you are feeling away, if you're dealing with some things that you feel that are out of control, get counseling. Go to your pastor if you have a pastor. Go to other counselors and therapists that are out there and available to help. Now, there are some, even in the communities, that are free. And so, with that, really just seek help. There's nothing wrong with going to talk to somebody about some things that you're dealing with. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Even people that have gone through divorce, I went through counseling myself when I went through divorce. There were a lot of things, and it was a lot of grief, a lot of, resentment, a lot of you know, just emotionally torn and broken. So, and it really helped. It really helped me. So there, there is, there's just, I just can't emphasize it enough. I just cannot emphasize it enough. There is nothing wrong. There's great courage, matter of fact, great courage into going and becoming vulnerable in front of somebody else. Great courage.
Mhm.
And there's wisdom in that too. So I just want to say that. So as far as the guardians are concerned, use this hotline 24/7. They're there. Somebody is there 24/7. Use this hotline. You would be surprised of all the things that are out there. And a lot of things just aren't talked about, but there are a lot of resources for veterans to go and get all kinds of help, all kinds
Mhm.
of help. So utilize this number and, call and get some help. Talk to somebody.
And just to add to that too, it's important for us to also know your community. There's so many things that's in the community that I didn't realize until I started doing ministry work and trying to collaborate with our community. Um, Meeting, is very important. If you're in that position to where you can connect with your senators, your mayors, your health directors, all these things are so vitally important for us to know because they you don't realize there are resources that's out there that can help you. Now, the other thing I want to mention, which is very, very important, is some of these illnesses leads to suicide ideation or suicide attempts, and some of them actually have been successful with committing suicide. Some, especially the schizophrenias, they hear so much things going on in their head, they can't take it, they can't sleep, they can't rest, they can't work, and some of them think the best way to just end it is to kill
Yeah,
themselves.
absolutely.
Some of them who are chronically depressed, they are just in that state where they feel hopeless. They feel like they don't need to be in existence, and they are, suffering from such, um, you know, hopelessness. So they too sometimes um, have attempts or have the ideation, and then some have tried. So we have. You want to know, in my phone, I have it on, emergency, just to help people who might call me and feel this way. So I think I listed it there, right? The National Suicide Prevention Line. So it doesn't matter what state you're in, you can call that. It doesn't matter what. I don't think it works for international, but I know it works for the U.S. Territories. So you can call the National Suicide Prevention Line, which is the 1-800-273 and 8255, because that's important for you to have near you. Just like you have the poison control on your refrigerator, you need to have
Absolutely.
that on your refrigerator or in your phone so you can help others. You can help people. Those are kind of like 911 numbers you need to always have. Um, I know some of the government hospitals are you the same way they can't turn you away if you go to the hospital because you're sick. They won't turn you away. I think it's Grady that has one. It has a big mental health area that treat individuals who are dealing and having challenges in that area. Some people go and check themselves in for like 72 hours, because they need help. Some people, and the other thing is, if you are on medication and you're having trouble getting your medication, you want to definitely, if you already, some people are working, like I say, they function, but if they're off their meds for whatever reason because they couldn't afford to pay for the copay of it, or for whatever reason, some people do have insurance. So those who have insurance, I think they're a little bit more familiar on what steps and what they should take. So if you have insurance and you're not familiar with it, but most of the insurance now comes with the employee assistance program. You have the PAP, and you also have the behavioral health.
Right.
Those usually comes with those are benefits that you do have. So if you are working and you have insurance, you can utilize that feature, that resource, that is part of your benefit. They offer you counseling, they offer you therapy, they offer you resources to help you, and some of you have social workers that work with that's part of your benefit, and they also will help you to find places that, like Publix, sometimes will give you free medication, whether it's blood pressure medicine, heart medicine, or some of those medicine. Maybe for the first time, if you went to them for the first time, Walgreens have like $4 medications that's prescription. So you work with those individual, like caseworkers, social workers. Some of them come with your benefits, and the other part, some of you have Medicaid, Medicare. You have those access. You have those access that benefits to help you. They will give you the help you need.
They
Be
will.
aggressive in getting the help, because if you don't want to live like this, or you don't want to see your loved one or your friends or the people you're around suffering, you do the research also and help them. That's what
That's right.
we are called for, to bring awareness, to help be a solution in the time of pollution. So we have to be aware. We have to also teach ourselves and learn, be informed, so we can help those. A lot of us are in ministry, and all we want to do is just preach behind the pulpit. God is not calling us just for that. He's calling us to make an impact in the earth, in
That's
the
it.
people that you surround. You have to be impactful by lending a hand, by doing something that can make a difference in somebody's life. I'm also part of a ministry called Life Changes International, Life Changes Club International, and it's reaching, touching, making difference in the lives of those you encounter. And if you can't reach and touch lives in your sphere, you can do it whether it's through virtual, whether it's through physical, whether it's through the church, whether it's through your home, your community. There's so many things, but we have to get up and begin to be active and be productive in making our community, our state, our country better. Help the people that's on the road, that's sleeping. Some of them, it's not just only hungry, some of them are sick. Help the people who are just wandering around the state, don't know where they are, what to do. They lost to society, they've tapped out. We got to figure out, because the place that used to help those people, they have shut that system down. So it's us now. It's us. So we got to do something. I know Kamala say the sad thing is persons do not feel like they have some place to go. Just
Yeah.
pray about it is what some are told. This topic is so needed. Thank you, ladies. You're welcome. And
You're
I'm so
welcome.
glad you see that, because it is true. It's always just pray about it. Pray about it. Jesus fed the people first. He gave them food to eat before he began to preach on the sermons, because
That's
people
right.
were hungry. And even after that, he still, was concerned about their well-being. So we are examples of him. So we have to be able to practice what we're preaching, you know. And I can't reach everybody physically with just, in one day, but this is a ministry that is able to bring awareness, give you whatever we know or research on to help who is listening. And that's why we say share, share. When you share, you know that one person
That's
who
right.
you will touch or who will just happen to tap in to this video that say, oh, I didn't know I can call my insurance and find out or get
That's right.
free counseling from this. I didn't know the VA offers, free mental health um,
Yes.
support. I didn't know the community hospitals. I can just go and check myself in because I feel like I'm losing my mind. I'm about to kill myself. You
Yep.
know, you can call. Once you call those helpline, they're going to direct you. So I'm just excited. Text
Yeah.
hello to
Yeah.
741-741,
Yeah,
and that's
and that's a crisis hotline, crisis text line. So
mhm,
there are so people are utilizing where we are. We got text and social media and all of these different things. And so you can text this crisis text line at hello 741-741, and they will be there. That somebody will respond to you when you're experiencing a crisis. Another one is this one right here is called the National Alliance on Mental Health.
mhm,
And so NAMI, you can look online, find that, but their numbers there too. They are national line. They have an office here in Georgia too, if you're in the Georgia area, but you can also call that 800 number. So there are um, different things that are out there. Then there's the disaster distress hotline. And then
mhm,
you can also text them at talk to us at 66746. So and this is just not natural disaster, this is human disaster too, for
mhm,
emotional just overwhelmness where you just feel like you're at the end of your ropes. These
mhm.
people are here for you. So all of these things, we have to step in and help each other, like Don was saying. So this pandemic has caused a lot of places to be shut down because a lot of places are not able to get the funding that they need, or people come in and all of this stuff. So places are shut down. So it is up to us to be our brother's keeper,
Yes.
be our love thy neighbor, all of these different things. And so just like what it was Patricia that was saying that that's what we hear, just pray about it and all of that. And that's wonderful. We ought to pray about it, but we also ought to help carry our sisters and our brothers' burdens. So we ought to help them in a way, like Don was saying. Jesus didn't just pray. you know he fed the homeless, the hungry. He did these things. He said, when I was in prison, you came to see me. When I was hungry, you fed me. Now he's talking in general for of us taking care of each other.
Mhm,
We are to do the natural thing to take care of each other. If we see that our brothers and sisters are struggling with something or having a hard time with something, or maybe a single parent that is raising boys or girls that they're struggling with, instead of just pointing the finger, you're doing it, or you just pray for your children, no, what can we do? Let's help them. Let's be a mentor. Let's get that daughter and say, hey, let's go shopping today. How about I come pick her up and take her to get her nails done? Or how about I take her to the park? Let's do a play date. Let me take the kids for a time. To be totally honest, I had that when I was raising my kids because I was military, so we were traveling around, so I didn't have family with me. But I was in such an awesome church. Oh my God, I was in such an awesome church in Fort Knox, Kentucky. Let me tell you, it was such an awesome church. The sisters and brothers and mothers that were in that church, they would call me because it was just me. My husband at the time would be away, either overseas somewhere or whatever, and I had these children, and I was very overwhelmed. And they would say, "Oh, we're gonna just let me just come get them for the weekend. Let me just come get them. You want to go out to eat with me, or you want to do this, or let's do this." They engaged me.
Mhm.
And so that's one thing that we have to do. We have to be more engaging to those that when we see these symptoms, engage people,
Mhm.
engage them, talk to them, see what they need, do what you can to help. And a lot of times they may not tell you exactly what they need because sometimes they may not know, so they just know the feelings that they feel. Sometimes they may not know. And if you can see that, okay, they may be a little stressed, maybe they need some time to themselves, or maybe they need this, engage them.
Mhm.
Let's do something to help our neighbors, to help our friends, and to help our family members. Let's
Mhm.
do something together. Let's utilize these numbers, these hotlines, even if you got to call to get information yourself to give to somebody who may not call themselves.
Right.
If you
And
have
that's
to do
important.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
if you have to reach out to somebody and say, "Hey, look, I know someone who's dealing with this. What can I do? What can I do to help them?" If you have to do that to get help, to help somebody else, to get information to help someone else, is well worth it. Is well worth it. So we just have to be involved in the lives of our neighbor in a way where we're not crossing boundaries, or we're not, you know, too intrusive, but we do want them to know that we care. We
Mhm.
do want them to know that. We want them to know that we care and we see, we're not coming in accusing them of it, or we're not diagnosing anything. We're showing love and we're showing that we care. So these are some great numbers. Please jot them down. Like Don said, put them on your refrigerator with right alongside poison control and 911 and mama and daddy number. Put these numbers there because
Because you
mental
never know
illness,
when you're gonna need them.
that's exactly, mental illness can affect anyone.
I
Anyone.
I remember I got that idea from we went to the bowling alley with my group. I think it was life group class that we were teaching, and we had did an outing, and we went to the bowling alley. So after the bowling alley, we came out. It was late. It was probably near 11 o'clock or so p.m. And when we came out, there was this young lady, and she had a little boy. Oh, children is that just touched my heart.
Mhm.
And she was asking for money, and she was just asking for different things. And um, one of the lady that was with me, I just commend her so much for what she did. That just kind of like gave me, the idea of what she did was I saw her just open up, she just opened up her phone, and she started making these phone calls right there. And then all of a sudden she went over to the lady and she said, "Do you have a phone? Do you have this?" And she was asking her questions, and she started giving her, she said, "Take this number, take this number, take this number, take this number." And I was like, wow, I was so impressed because what I realized, she had the number for shelters in her phone. She had the numbers for different outreach that if you can't get here, try this for food, for just everything. And I just was like so impressed. And I said, we really need to keep that stuff
Yes.
in our phone, because a lot of times, instead of us just bypassing, because she didn't give the woman any money, but she gave her resources. She
Yeah.
and whether she had money or not, or that was just her way of helping her, she helped. But I think some other person gave her some money that was in our group. But at the same time, the money only lasts so long. It's kind of like giving, teaching a person how to fish. Instead, if you give them a fish, you still, need to teach him. So she gave them the resources. She gave, the person all of this. So, and that is what you call ministry. That is what we too have to be equipped with, the resources that we need to help others, to give them to, help themselves. Whether they take it or not, it's up to them. But I think that's a great idea for us as Christians and as um, ministry leaders or business leaders, or it doesn't matter if you're an influencer in the earth. I think you should have some form of resource to help people who are in need. Whether you
Absolutely.
say, oh, don't give them the money, give them something else, to help them. And so those are some of the precautions, the steps I'm trying to take to be, effective in the earth, be effective in ministry, be effective in my community, is
Right.
to help people, whether it's by giving them, food, clothes, money, but I also want people to have resources that they can go to when they don't see me, you know.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I thought that was really, but I wanted to say this real quick and then we're gonna close. I was looking through all the different type of I know we mentioned a few of them, but you would be amazed some of the mental illnesses that people are coping with, or struggling with. So you have like the stress response syndrome. I'm not gonna even go, if you can look these things up. You have the dissociative disorder. Those are like the people that suffer with disturbances or changes, in their memories and not identity and different things like that. You have the facetious disorder, and those are conditions in which a person knowingly and intentionally creates or complains of physical and or emotional symptoms in order to place the individual in a role of a patient or get help. Sexual and gender disorders. These include disorders that affect sexual desire, performance, and behavior. Sexual dysfunction, gender identity disorder, and paraphilias. These are examples of that. Somatic symptom disorder. This is a person with a somatic symptom formerly known as a psychosomatic disorder. And you have, I mentioned earlier, if you coming on later, the tic disorder. These are people with that have those sounds and displays, and sometimes it can be appropriate and it's quick and it's sudden and it's uncontrollable. So those are just few of the disorders. There's hundreds of disorders, trust me. I have this thick old book from psychology with the different type of disorders that's out there. So you
Mm.
have disorders that mother, the Munchausen's disorder. That's a
Yeah.
disorder. A mother that make her child ill just to get the acclimate of recognizing, oh, she identified this, or there's so many disorder that you might just think is silly, but it's out there, and
Absolutely.
these people need help. They need help.
Yeah.
It's a cry for attention, and it's they need help. And mostly, if you, because some of you are, not a Christian, but and this everything that we do is the Christian base. So just to let you know, but we deal with the non-Christians and the Christians. So for the non-Christian, if you don't have an understanding of finding a counselor in the Christian arena, that's okay. But we still want you to find help. But those
Absolutely.
who are saved and understand, the Christian faith, you can also, like Kamika mentioned earlier, reach out to your pastor, reach out to your mentor, reach out to a sister or brother, and find someone that you can trust and confide in. Let them know, hey, I'm dealing with this thing, it's exacerbating. And that way they can help you on, and whether it's praying and helping you finding the resources and help you find the help you need. I think, you have that ability. And
Yeah.
we have our numbers there. I'm a counselor, I'm a minister, I am a registered dietitian nurse, I'm an educator. So you can reach out to me, to my ministry. You can reach out to Kamiko, who is also a minister.
That's right.
I'm an ordained minister, so I can counsel in that area.
That's right.
So, you need help, reach out to me.
Yeah,
My number is
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm putting it up there now. But yeah, absolutely. Reach out to me, reach out to Don. Both of us are ordained ministers. We're 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 really here. We're really here. If you email us, just put in the subject line, um, um, help, mental health, whatever you put, just reach out. We will definitely get back up with you and we'll pray with you and we'll talk to you and all of that. Sometimes, really, you will be surprised how much help a good shoulder gives. Sometimes people just and a good ear. Sometimes people just need to get it out. Sometimes people just need to get it all out, get it out of their, talk about it. And not that they think that you can fix it, but they just need someone to listen. They want to be heard. They want to be heard and listen. You will be surprised. And also, I wanted to mention too, on your phones, most everybody have some kind of phone now. Um, Apps. There are apps that will help you to cope with stress, help you to cope with anxiety, help you to cope with depression. There are apps that will help you to sleep, meditation apps. There are all of these different things that are available to you. Look on your phones and go into your app stores. There are apps out there that will help you to cope. Even with PTSD, there are apps. There are apps to deal with these things, and they will help you to give you different coping mechanisms, different coping things that you can do, strategies and skills that you can begin to build upon that can help you even while you're at home. Until you get counseling, until you go and seek some kind of help from someone. There are things that you can do on your phones. Use those. There are even mental health trackers, on your phone as an app. They will ask you a series of questions and all of these different things. There are also some things that will help too. There are brain games. There are games that will help you to focus. There are games that can help you to build up that just to get your mind from that state, break you out of a cycle and to break you free from that. So look on your phone in your apps. There are apps there that can help you to deal with different things. There are apps that will give you breathing techniques to help you to de-stress. There are apps to do that. I have some of those apps on my phone. So breathing exercises and slowing your breathing and all of these different things. Are available. Just, utilize them. Again, if there's no one that you feel that you can trust or that you feel like you can do, please reach out to us. We will talk to you. We will pray for you. We will, just try to direct you into further resources or any of that. You can definitely reach out to us. We really are here to help. This is what Free Talk Friday is about. It really is. This is the meat and gravy of it right here. This is it. This is what it's about. We want to provide resources to people. We want to be able to help by giving you different ways and different coping skills and ideas. So that's what we want. So if you have any kind of questions, if you need any kind of help, you need a listening ear, you need counsel, reach out to us. Reach out to us and we will help you in any which way we can. Our number is now strolling across the bottom with our email addresses and all of that. So please reach out to us, and we definitely are here to help, and we want to. We want
And
to
I
help.
also put the information of our numbers to reach us in the chat. So if you have to go back later to
Mm,
this site, you can also pull it up, because I know sometimes when things are rolling across the screen, if you don't have a pen right away wherever you
right.
are, it's a little difficult to obtain the information. So I
Yeah.
did put, and even if you just need the information that we talk about later on, you can send us a request by emailing us, either to myself or to, because we're collaborating together, Visible Roots and Happy Harvest. So Happy Harvest Ministry, we deal with mentorship. We deal with, there's so many different things that we do deal with, and our vision is basically right here. It is to empower individuals to be successful in their walk of life, and that is seriously true. That's what we aim for. Is to make sure these things are happening. Is there's different things that we want to deal with, the spiritual aspect, the mentoring, the community, and the transitional area of your walk. So reach out to us, because that's what we're there to do, is to help. And
That's right.
those numbers are there. And before we close, I'm gonna say mine first, because I'm gonna let Kamiko um, say hers last. So we have what you call the roundtable discussion that's coming up every third of the month. It's on a Saturday. It's at 6 p.m. So that is coming up this Saturday. Not this Saturday, on the 17th of April. We have the roundtable discussion. So again, you join us every Saturday of the month for this roundtable, and we'll be going, beyond the surface. So it's a skinless operation that we're digging beyond the surface, and we talk about different things. And our topic this month is really good. So I'm expecting you to come out and join us and share and discuss with us, and whatever we're looking for panel. I mean, we're gonna have a great panelist, and to go on with that. So again, I just wanted to remind you of that. And then also I have Happy Harvest book club that's coming up. So this week, on the 7th of next week, we have a book club that's coming up for discussion, which we will be reviewing Sarah Jakes. That's the book that of the month of March we read. So we will be discussing her book, Don't Settle for Space. Great book. We'll be discussing that. And our book of the month of April is The Girl with the Loud Voice. So I just wanted to kind of like, just remind you of those two areas. And then every morning we have our prayer that we do with Happy Harvest Prayer. So join in with us, and I send those things out on Facebook, Instagram, and also if you want to join, we have a WhatsApp prayer or Happy Harvest Ministry group. If you want to join us, send us an email and say, hey, you want to join our chat. So I'm just excited about that. And again, I welcome you and thank you for joining. Please share with your family, friends, and just hey, share this video that someone might see, whether later on or not. So thank you.
Amen. Amen. That is awesome. That is awesome. Please tune in to all of that. Roundtable normally has some very, very good topics. So um, please join in with that on the third Saturday of the month at 6 o'clock. Join in with that. So what we have coming up with Happy Harvest, Happy Harvest is not Happy Harvest, Visible Roots. Visible Roots, what we do is we bring awareness to all those issues, whether it's social, economical, personal issues that people face. And we want to get to the root of the matter. So the successes and the failures, because we want people to ask the questions and we want to answer those questions to help people get past the things that they're facing. So one aspect of Visible Roots that we do is called Warming Hearts Projects, and that's our homeless initiative that we do. And so we have that. We also have a family outreach sector of that as well. And so what we do is we do that. So the next event that we have coming up is we have the homeless event that's coming up on the 3rd, which is tomorrow at 12 o'clock. We're going to be down in the Hurt Park area. And so if you have any kind of questions and all, you can reach out to Visible Roots at this 800 number right here, or you can, or the number that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. So we are still taking donations. This is something that we do quarterly. So we do this every quarter. We go downtown to the Hurt Park area, and we go downtown because that's where the one of the largest homeless communities are in downtown Atlanta. We also service other areas too, but we go down there and we give them toiletries, clothing, shoes, food, snacks, all of these different things. And we want to show them that we love them. You know, a lot of these people are just out there. They are dealing with, some of them, a lot of them are dealing with some form of mental illness. And a lot of them are just have just fallen on tough time, or something catastrophic has happened in their lives where they just haven't been able to rebound from. So we want to be the hand and feet and mouth and legs and arms of Jesus. We really do in the earth. We want to go out there and we want to help people, and that's what we're doing. So if you want to donate, that's our Cash App. We also have a PayPal way that you can donate as well. Is I think it's PayPal .me / Visible Roots Inc. I think. Let me see. I got it.
And I just send my donation to the Cash App. So,
Thank you.
you know, I know it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow.
It is
So
tomorrow. It
if
is
you,
tomorrow. So yeah, so that PayPal is paypal.me / oh no / Visible Roots Inc. And that is Don, if you could put that in there, that would be great for me. PayPal.me / Visible Roots Inc. And so that's another way to give.
say
So
again, PayPal.
PayPal.me ME / Visible Roots Inc. Right. And so we are a nonprofit organization. So all of your gifts are tax deductible. So yeah, so we're going down there tomorrow. We're going to be down there at 12 noon, and we'll probably be down there 2 or 3 hours until everything runs out. You know, so we're there to help, and that's what we're doing. We're also some of you may have heard about the disaster that happened in Newnan, Georgia, from the tornado that happened last week. I think it was last week, and a lot of people lost a lot of things. A lot of people lost their homes and all of that, and so we want to do something to help those people. And so after this event is over, we will start to collect for those people as well. But we are going to take some care packages down there to assist them with that. So we really are an organization that we want to make partnership. As Donna said, we Happy Harvest and Visible Roots, we do work together. And also we wanted to make partnership with other organizations and groups that wish to help as well. Every bit counts, like literally it adds up. So don't think that your gift is too small, and definitely it will not be too big. So the need is there. So we're doing that. So also in May is the National Day of Prayer. So Visible Roots will be hosting a prayer, a national prayer. So we want everyone to join us with that. I'll be bringing more information about that in the coming weeks. So you can kind of put that on your calendar. The National Day of Prayer is May 6th this year. So this is when we're going to get together. We're going to pray for our nation, our presidents, our pastors, our churches. We're going to pray against human trafficking and homelessness. And we're going to pray for our police. We're going to pray, for our first responders. We're going to just pray for everybody. So we want everyone to join in with that. This is definitely a time for prayer, and we want to do that. So um, we just want you to be aware of the things that we got going on, and we want you to just spread the word about it because we're here to help. We really are. We want to make a be the change that we're talking about. We really do. So thank you guys again for coming out, and Don, you can close us out if you like.
Well, God bless you all. Thank you again for listening and looking forward to hearing from you or seeing you on next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're
Thank you all.
closing.